It's so funny, after the last international break that was, you're kind of sitting down thinking to yourself, maybe we might get a little bit of passion, a little bit of fight, a little bit of something. And then you see Jason Molumby celebrating the throw-in. Welcome back to The Verdict. Hello guys, how are you getting on? My name's Aaron Kelly and welcome back to The Verdict, and welcome back to a kind of longer style Verdict video. I know there's been a lot of short style kind of content coming up on this channel. Well, we're back with another kind of sit down, me versus you, talking shite about football. It feels good to be back, and if you are happy that these kind of videos are back, make sure you leave a like. Thank you for 50 subscribers. I am hoping on getting some half decent internet installed out here so I can actually stream games, but that is a little bit further on in the future. But thank you all so much for 50 subscribers. 100 by, I don't know, Christmas? Does that seem likely? I'd like to think so. I'd really like to think so. So let's talk about the international break, kind of as a whole. I mean, Ireland were underwhelming, particularly after the last international break, losing to Armenia. The draw with Hungary was a good one in kind of the circumstances, but obviously things kind of went our way that night for us to get that draw, but it all went straight out the window when we went to Armenia and lost 1-0, and we were kind of thinking to ourselves going into this international break, can it get any worse? I don't know. Did it get any worse? Well, let's discuss that. And the most important question, can and will Ireland qualify for the World Cup next year? Probably not. Anyway, we'll start with the Portugal game, and like I said, there are shorts up, kind of immediate reactions already on the channel, but I want to go a little bit more in depth in this video. So the Portugal game, it was okay. It was okay. I mean, in terms of an attacking performance, non-existent. But did we really expect to cause Portugal any issues? Not really. And if you look at the way Hallgrimsson sets up his team, if you want to call it that, it's incredibly defensive minded, and it's with the sole objective of let's just not lose or lose by a lot. And certainly that was the mentality going into the Portugal game, and playing 5 at the back, going very defensive and trying to grind out a point was absolutely the play against a team like Portugal, who have the quality like that they have. The likes of Ronaldo still knocking about, Ruben Neves, who got the winning goal, Bernardo Silva. Like, there's still lots and lots of quality in that Portugal team. So we were always going to be on the back foot, trying to just prevent the inevitable, but hopefully not making it inevitable and keeping a clean sheet, which we very, very nearly did. Like, defensively, the performance was brilliant. Kelleher's save from the Ronaldo penalty. I think the decision for that penalty was an absolute farce. I was convinced at the time, like the referee really, that Dara O'Shea had very clearly handled the ball, and the ball had hit his chest, his hand was up, and he basically stopped a goal-bound shot. But looking at it on replay, it looks like it very clearly hits his chest. And Seamus Coleman came out after the game, another player, by the way, can I just say, very, very happy to see Seamus Coleman back in an Ireland jersey, and he was one of the standout players in this international break, I have to say, and someone with that kind of mentality, that experience, that wealth of knowledge that he has to stay in the squad, and I think that's a non-negotiable moving forward, despite the fact that he's pushing 40. But Seamus Coleman said it after the game that he didn't think the referee really wanted to talk to him as much as he did Bruno Fernandes, and I really did think that penalty decision was absolutely ridiculous. But what's a save by Kevin Kelleher? And this is a goalkeeper, this is a player who's arguably our best player, and he's a goalkeeper, which, you know, is good. It's always great to have a wonderful keeper, which Ireland do, but if only that could be shared out a little bit, you know, further up the pitch. However, in, I think it was the first or second minute of 5 or 6, 7, whatever it was, additional minutes added on, Portugal get their goal across from the right-hand side, in swinging, and Ruben Neves arrives late into the box to nod it home, and really a lapse in concentration from Ireland. One of very few lapses in concentration defensively that night. Kelleher as well potentially could have done better for it. I still think, looking back on it, he probably should have been a bit stronger coming from that for that cross. And ultimately, I do think he probably has enough credit stored up in the bank that we can allow him that one, particularly that he saves a Cristiano Ronaldo penalty, as Gavin Bazunu did a couple of years ago. But similar to that game, Portugal get their late goal, their late winner. I think Dara O'Shea switched off, and he's just, the fact that Ruben Neves has been able to, that late in the game, to just waltz into the box, not it past Kelleher, free header pretty much, was frustrating and felt like a real punch in the gut. If you'd managed to go to Lisbon and get a draw, as Hungary did last night, and we'll kind of get into that, or 2 nights ago by the time this video comes out, you would have said, Jesus Christ, we're well back in it. If we can go and beat Armenia, which we should on Tuesday night, to go into that with a point would have been absolutely huge. Alas, we miss out on a point, and Portugal take all 3, nick it right at the death. And then we moved into Tuesday night's game at the Aviva, and we have some stuff to say about this. So Ireland win the game 1-0, and ultimately feels like a bit of a loss at the same time, because Portugal were leading, Cristiano Ronaldo with 2 goals against Hungary, and that would have been the ideal result for us. And a win against Armenia paired with that Portugal win would have left us, I think, level on points with Hungary. They're still a couple of goals ahead of us in terms of goal difference, but you would have said very quietly, it's back on. The World Cup. It's fucking the World Cup charge. We're so very back. However, Dominic Szoboszlai decided to score a goal very late on in injury time to rescue a point, a very, very valuable point for Hungary in the context of this group. And it's one that makes Ireland's task even trickier. But let's talk about the Ireland performance against Armenia. It was shit. First half was one of the worst halves of football I've seen an Ireland team put out. And that is really heartbreaking when you consider how good the performance was on paper and how together the performance was against Portugal. Yeah, we didn't offer anything going forward against Portugal, but once again, I don't think we really expected to. But against Armenia, you have to come out and you have to attack. Now, I understand, and I've chirped on YouTube for the past number of years about managers having their philosophies. I give out yards about Maurizio Sarri back in 2019 when he was Chelsea manager, about his refusal to adapt and change his play style to suit whatever opposition he's playing. I said it on my short verdict that went out the other night directly after the game, that Manchester United fans are having a similar kind of qualm, I suppose, or problem with Ruben Amorim at the minute, and the fact that he won't change his play style no matter who he's playing. He goes to Grimsby and plays 5 at the back. This is fairly similar, I say, for Heimer Hallgrimsson. The fact that he plays 5 at the back, and not only is it 5 at the back, but it is 5 defenders. Like, I know sometimes he can play with wing backs who are kind of more attacking minded than defensively, but it was Ryan Manning who, in my eyes, is an out-and-out left-back, and Festi Ebisele, who, yes, was playing right wing-back, but was nearly playing as more of an inverted right wing-back, kind of in the 10, and really in that first half was our only source of kind of inspiration, or anytime we looked like doing anything going forward, it was thanks to Festi Ebisele, and that is worrying, that you're relying on your right wing back to be that kind of creative spark to create chances for the likes of Evan Ferguson. But that was it in the first half, and in reality, in that first half, Armenia could have very easily been in front. They miss a volley chance at the back post. I'm not going to try and pronounce any of the Armenian players' names because I feel like I will just butcher it and make a tit of myself more than I already have. But he just kind of slices his volley left foot, and Kelleher was rooted. I think if it was just a couple more yards to the right-hand side, Armenia go into the break 1-up. And the inciting incident comes a couple of minutes into the second half, where this Armenia player just decides to headbutt Finn Azaz. Like, Finn Azaz of ball players, like, he swear he was a fellow who was pulling the strings and making things happen. He wasn't. It was actually just a ball went out for a throw-in, or Azaz tackled him over the sideline. He didn't like it, so he just put the head in him. And the referee and VAR certainly had no choice, really, but to send him off and reduce Armenia to 10 men. It was kind of the perfect start to the second half for Ireland, but it took Heimer Hallgrimsson another 15 minutes before he made any sort of changes, and eventually it was Chidozie Ogbene and Troy Parrott who come on, and they both made a difference when they came on. Granted, there was some good balls whipped into the box. However, I was looking at it thinking, finally, he's making changes, he's making positive changes, he's finally coming out of his shell, and he's not filling the togs against Armenia at home. But then I realised he's actually just doing a straight swap for swap. He did not change the formation whatsoever. It remained 5 at the back, even though we were playing against 10 men. Like, I know, again, managers have their philosophy. Maybe it's an ego thing, and most managers will want to kind of keep that, maintain that as best they can, no matter who they're playing, to kind of show, oh shit, this is my method, and it works. However, when you're playing Armenia, who are what, 103rd in the world? I think I had this rant before when we lost to them in the previous international break, but something like 102nd, 103rd in the world. They're down to 10 men. You're at home. Your fucking job is at stake. We need 3 points. But not only that, it's one of those where it's an opportunity for Ireland to even get a couple of goals. And that even sounds like really over the top and kind of, oh, I'm asking for an awful lot because I'm asking for Ireland to score any more than one fucking goal. Go after them. Like, change something up. Go to a 4-3-3. Yeah, or throw on an extra striker. Put Parrott and Ferguson up top. Like, do something different. Switch it up. Because that's why teams, and that's how teams get caught out. And to Armenia's credit, they never stopped fucking working. That remaining, 9 outfield players that were on the pitch never stopped working and actually made it fairly difficult for Ireland. Having said that, even though we do get the goal through Evan Ferguson, it sounds like we've lost the game with the kind of whinging that I'm doing, but most Ireland fans can agree. Probably 2 or 3 extra chances on top of the goal that we got. Adam Idah comes on and he misses probably 2 good chances. He's got a goal. It was actually a good finish, to be fair. That was ruled out for offside. But like, there was not really a huge urgency from Ireland to push on and try and get that second and potentially third goal. I know, whoa, he's asking for an awful lot now, folks. Goal difference could very well be very important come the end of this group. And like, the fact that Ireland were very, like, we get a corner late on and Ryan Manning is strolling out to take it. Like, get the ball, get it in the box. Like, and I will say this, the only reason we scored is, number one, because Armenia went down to 10 men. And number two, we managed to capitalise on the one time they switched off defensively. It's a quick corner from Azaz. Smallbone whips it in. Evan Ferguson, free header from about 4 yards. Nobody marking him. They were already, like, they were kind of half setting up for the corner as the ball from Smallbone was already being whipped into the box. And Ferguson couldn't really miss. But just that lack of urgency is so, like, it stinks throughout the whole team. Like, when a player is on the ball, say Festi Ebisele on the ball on the right wing in the first half, like, what I want to see, especially if you are insisting on playing Heimer fucking wingers and wing backs, like, I want to see them bombing, like, absolutely bombing. But like, whenever the man is on the ball, he's got no options. No options. He looks up and there's fucking nothing but opposition players in front of him. What's he supposed to do? Troy Parrott went on a run in the second half when he eventually came onto the pitch, and no sign of Ogbene, no sign of Malumbi or Smallbone running from deep. And again, he just loses possession. He's running down a dark alley. The only reason Ebisele looked as lively as he did is because he's quick. He was able to beat a man 1v1. But when he got a ball into the box, there was nobody there. Like, no, once or twice he did pick the wrong cross. However, the lack of commitment to get bodies into the box or to get support for the man on the ball is just like, you're actually screaming at your television screen. It's awful. It's a really tough watch. We get our first 3 points of the group. We leapfrog Armenia in the table. And that draw for Hungary does make things incredibly difficult. The November break is coming up in a month's time, obviously, and we'll know our fate at the end. Methinks we will not be even in a playoff. However, realistically, you need to beat Hungary. That's a given. And you need to get something. You have to get something out of the Portugal game at home now. And in Ireland teams in past, like in years gone by, I would have said to myself, yes, we're shit, but there's heart there. And like, say, fucking Germany coming to the Aviva all those years ago, was it something like the 10-year anniversary there recently enough? You always thought there's a chance. There is zero chance that Ireland get anything out of that Portugal game, particularly with the way they've played in this international break once again and the one before. Like, this squad just has nothing. I don't know if it's a mix. Like, surely to God, a team that's 103rd, we can't be looking as good as them. Premier League players on the pitch, once again. I said it in the last video, I'll say it again. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Do Ireland still have a chance of qualifying for the World Cup? I would say probably not, but I'm usually fairly cynical and sceptical when it comes to these things. So, if you have a real tangible reason as for your optimism for why Ireland can qualify for the 2026 World Cup from our current predicament and current point, please leave a comment in the comment section down below. I'd love to start a discussion. Hopefully going to be getting a longer podcast coming out in the next couple of weeks as well on the Premier League, and obviously the League of Ireland is wrapping up soon, so Shamrock Rovers are probably going to win the league tomorrow night. So if that does happen, expect a video. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please do leave a like and subscribe to The Verdict if you are new, and I will catch you next time. Take care and good luck.